Yo. Well, I just started, and I think I'm gonna start with this quest for doing all the world quests. I thought we were gonna try some more Singer EX tonight, but I guess we're not. So I suppose I don't have any actual plans. So I figured I would do this at least. So how many role quests did you do? Just a tank one? How did it go yesterday? Overall it was decent. Obviously I was completely new to it. Skline was pretty new to it as well. I think we were the only ones who were completely blind still. Sadly we didn't get to attempt it for very long because somebody had to leave after like an hour-ish. So we only got like 4 or 5 pulls in. We saw Enrage once. We got down to like 21%, 22% or something, and died to Enrage. Yeah, it's definitely a lot for me to take in. Cause I watch Skline raid like all the time, but I'm not a Savage Raider myself, so sometimes it's a little hard to just like pick stuff up as fast as you guys. I was definitely fumbling a little bit, but overall it was solid. It was a solid go. I think if we had a little bit more time, we probably could have gotten a kill, but yeah, somebody had to leave, and then another decided to dip and do some hunt stuff, so we just decided to stop after that. I would like to try it again. I don't know exactly when, but I do at least want to get a kill of it. I'm not super crazy about the weapons though. Get it next time. Maybe. If we went in with like the same group we had last night for like another hour, I think we would get it, yeah. Because I was slowly picking up the stuff as well. It was just a matter of executing. I don't think anybody was streaming it though. I think we were just playing. So there's nothing to like go back and check. But let me pick up this quest and I'll go look through them again. It's sad because I like the colors of the weapon. They've got like a nice blue and black aesthetic, but just they're very feathery shaped, and I don't like that at all. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, let me start this, and I want to go look at them again for a sec. So yeah, this is the capstone, I guess, for doing all the other role quests. So obviously there will be probably some spoilers, assuming if you care about that kind of thing. Probably it's not a big deal, but I figured I would mention it just the same. I'm sure I'll have to read a fuck ton. Well, if it isn't Ansem, an all-around good egg and champion of, well, the whole world, I suppose. You skip most of the eggs back anyways. Is that safe to publicly admit? Word travels fast, my friend. We've heard all about your exploits defeating the blasphemies that plagued the good people of Eorzea and Doma. Sadly, there are other fell beasts that yet want for slaying, but fear not. Our efforts to bring them low proceed apace, and we've had naught but glad tidings from our allies. Reports from Golemald, however, suggest that another blasphemy threat lurks in the snows, and we received a petition for assistance. Gasp. Strange, don't you think? When the effect of the final days began to spread in earnest, we encountered a great many monsters in Golemald, but never a blasphemy. Getting cancelled on Twitter, Sag. Yeah, that's big Sag, because then you can't look at all your, You know what? Let's not finish that. To make matters worse, they say the Garleans who chose to remain and rebuild have begun transforming into yet more hideous creatures. Uh-oh. From what I understand, it was you and your comrades who brought an end to the source of the final days. Is that right? Even so, it would appear its effects will linger for a while longer. Till this malevolent influence on Akasa subsides, I dare say this won't be the last time we hear of such sightings. As for the blasphemy, we have reason to believe it is a great deal stronger than any we've faced thus far. Your strength and experience would prove quite valuable, if you're willing to help, of course. Is the Ilzabard contingent not equipped to handle this threat? I'm gonna pick that. I should certainly think so. No sooner did we receive the request from Charlotte than they began making preparations to dispatch their forces. That said, it was clear from the first that they were hoping you might also take up the hunt. Though if I may be frank, I was not expecting Charlayan, of our places, to be so concerned with the present state of Garlemald, but with their strict policies on non-intervention. Perhaps we'll find out the reason before this is all over. But that's an inquiry for another time. I'll not keep you any longer. Once you arrive in Garlemald, I should think the intelligence officer stationed there would be more than happy to apprise you of the situation. One thing I do miss about Hroth is the sprinting animation. It feels a lot more, I don't know, like, the animation just felt better. Like I'm actually just running my ass off. But this here is just, I think it's because I stand up straight so much. Maybe I just got used to the hunch, but I feel like I'm just standing straight up and jogging. It looks a little stiff. But yeah, is there any particular weapon you maybe wanted to see? See, like, the sword is pretty, I like the sword. It's pretty straightforward. It's got a nice blue and black sort of thing going on. Probably this sword is my favorite one. Oh, yeah, the dark one. Yeah, okay. The dark's not too bad either. It's got a nice sort of sheen to it. I don't really like the hilt, but the blade's okay. It looks more like ornate than I kind of prefer on Dark Knight weapons though. Yeah, I'm not fond of the hilt. What else we got? The axe. The axe has actual feathers in it. Yeah, not too fond of the axe. Gunblade. The gunblade has feathers too. I think I would like the gunblade if it didn't have the feathers, but it's okay as well. It's pretty basic looking maybe, but it's not terrible. But yeah. The spear looks awful to me. I don't like the spear at all. Yo, Trinity. The scythe is almost okay. I wish it wasn't so. It looks like a beak, Like if this was more like straight angled, I think this would be okay. But like yeah. This beer's, yeah, it's too short. Yeah, I don't know. I don't play Dragoon enough anyway. Fists are meh. Not a fan of the fists. The sword, the sheath is like I said, I like the kind of metallic blue and black it has. The sword itself it's okay. It's kind of basic, but Sam is okay. I like Sam's. Oh, you were talking about the Reaper weapon. Ah. Yeah, like the blade is too short. Not really a fan of the knives. I don't like bent daggers. I prefer the straight ones. Yeah. Yeah, I love the coloring, but they all have sort of a feathered vibe, which it makes sense. Obviously, it is what it is, but sadly, yeah. You did the new 87, the 87 dungeon in dark. Yeah, you can basically just instant heal yourself with it now. Pistol looks goofy. I don't like the super thin looking guns. Glowing orb is kind of neat, but nah. Clipping. The dancers, I don't hate it. I like the more spiky dancer weapons. The rod is, this doesn't look black mage to me. Healer died at the beginning of the last boss. Oh. But you did it anyway. Yep, so Dark is no longer excluded from the Cool Tanks Club. They also no longer need a healer. Congrats. Congrats all the Dark Knights. Books, whatever. Sadly, most Scholar and Summoner books are meh. So. I'm not crazy about the red mage weapon. Although this is kind of an interesting piece. I mean, yes, technically they still need a healer. I was exaggerating a little bit. But you don't just have to deal with the worst invuln in the game now. It has floating planets. Okay. The new lists are kind of okay, because they're just innate shape, I think, lends it to be not too weird looking. They kinda, yeah, the new lists are okay. Yeah, Won't see as many Dark Die in PF because of healer. Won't healer. Yeah. There was a ton of aliasing on these, though. I have to zoom in super close. There's a lot of detail on these. I don't know how well you guys can see it. Crappy stream quality. And the shield. Shield's pretty, but eh. So yeah. Overall, some look okay. Some I'm not fond of at all. I guess like most things, to be fair. A glowy version could potentially save some of them, yeah, agreed. Really depends on how the glow effect would look. But anyway, alright, let's continue this. It's raining in Garlemald. The Ansa? Sheep. It's an honor to have you with us, sir. I presume you've come to assist in our hunt for the blasphemy? Nod. Maxima and Lucia will be pleased to hear it, if you would come this way. I wonder if any of these are going to be voiced. I imagine probably not. I'm probably going to be talking this entire questline. It is good to see you, Anselm, though I wish it were under more fortuitous circumstances. We were reluctant to call upon you, knowing you but recently returned from the far reaches of the heavens, but we are no less glad for your aid. Voice acting. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Some days I feel like I have it better than others, so we'll see where it lies. Now then, I believe it best if the man who first discovered this blasphemy explained the situation. Let me just ring him up on the link pearl. For Chanel. Ah, good. We may forego introductions then. Thank you for answering our call for assistance. As for the situation at hand, it concerns a joint effort between the Forum and the Loperites to find new purpose for the moon. While there is no longer need for a vessel to evacuate the star, we believe the moon may yet prove of use to the people of Theris. After much contemplation, a rather ingenious proposal was put forward, to transform the moon into a repository for man's knowledge, an archive of hitherto unseen scale. I suppose that Garlemald is technically the only way they have to travel, not counting the Ragnarok, so I guess they gotta still use the portal and Zot. Charlene has long had the honor of boasting incomparable repositories of the world's knowledge, but it is far from perfect. Should calamity befall us, natural or otherwise, the wisdom of ages we have long labored to preserve would be lost. But the moon is beyond any such risk. What's more, it is beyond the jurisdiction of any one nation. This did we consult the allied nations of Eorzea, the Far East, and Radzat Han. They agreed to assembling a survey team to make measure of the moon and its potential as a repository. To take measure of the moon. Our plans for assessment were first stalled, however, by the presence of an entity we believed to be a blasphemy in the Tower of Babel. Oh, I said Zot by accident. I meant Babel. Claims of Garlean citizens transforming into monstrosities shortly after its discovery only gave further credence to our initial supposition. But we've not only ill tidings to share. Reinforcements have been dispatched to aid us in quelling the blasphemy threat. Lord Artoriel and a member of Gridania's Keepers of the Entwined Serpents have already begun the investigation into the catalyst of these transformations. Though the skies no longer burn, and the spread of this affliction is much curtailed, we must remain vigilant. Until the blasphemy threat has been quelled, Alfredo and Alize have graciously offered to help keep calm the people of Tertium while we attend to the people here. But the matter of the blasphemy is not so easily resolved, I am afraid. We recently met with certain complications that have hindered our plans. Yugiri and Fordola are presently deliberating on how best to resolve the situation. Perhaps it would be best if you heard the details directly from them. I should like to join you, if I may. As this endeavor was originally undertaken on Charlane's behalf, I feel it is my responsibility to see this through to its conclusion. So, the ranged role quest involved Dolma, which obviously entailed like Yukiri and Hien. And the healer one involved doing stuff around Alamigo, and that had Fordola and Arenvald and stuff like well, they all had different characters, obviously. Like Ishgard had Americ. Gridania's had a lot to do with the older Seedseer, and was it the melee was around Limsa and the friggin' Company of Heroes. So I imagine we're gonna see a lot of characters popping up from that involved with this. Especially if like these two are here right out the gate. Somehow I should have known you would turn up eventually. I did not expect to see you here, of all places, but I am no less glad for your presence. I presume what of the blasphemy is what brought you here. In any case, I believe it may be best if a member of our reconnaissance team's guard explain the situation. Oh, it's him. An acquaintance of yours. Lorenz. Yeah, you giddy. You giddy. I heard tell ye were the worldly sort, but bugger me if I knew where you heard my name before. I'm just a lowly sword for hire, hoping to fatten my purse with a touch of mercenary work after taking my leave from Limsa. The job sounded simple enough, but, well, I'm sure you wouldn't be here if it were, eh? He was with the Limsa role quests. I don't think he was in ARR stuff, but if he was, I honestly forgot. Like, I didn't recognize him at all. I only know his name because he was in the role quests, so like I just did that when I last played. I think he's technically a new character, but he still was related to the company. He just hadn't actually been on screen. But But you didn't come all this way to hear about me, did you? Blasphemy would talk, or after is making its nest in the upper reaches of the Tower of Babel. The auxiliary sector, I believe it was. But it wasn't alone. A sizable horde of beasts were circling around like knights protecting their queen. Naturally, we thought to strike from a distance before engaging in earnest, but not a single bullet reached its mark. They were protected by some manner of mystical shroud as far as I could figure. Without a keen eye for magic, I don't see anyone getting through. By the time we understood the futility of the situation, we'd been spotted. Retreat was our only option. Pains me to say it, but there won't be any brute force on our way through this one. My understanding was that, once transformed, these blasphemies are completely devoid of ether. With what energies could it create such a barrier? That's the question, isn't it? My first thought was some herefore unknown technique for conjuring shields. Needless to say, I'm out of my depth when it comes to matters of magic. Which is precisely why I plan to speak with the Elder Seer when she arrives. If anyone can help us find a way to overcome the blasphemy's protection, it's her. In the meantime, could we trouble you to help with the not-so-small matter of people changing into beasts? The blasphemy's horde was large enough when we first found it. We can't afford more to join its ranks. Very well. We shall reconvene with Lord Artorial and discuss strategy. Before you go, there's something else you should know about the tower. From the moment we set foot inside it, I could swear there was someone, or something, watching us. I shrugged it off, thinking it's a figment of my imagination, but in hindsight, I'm not so sure. Nothing to worry ourselves about now, but you best keep your guard when we do finally return to the tower, eh? I'm curious how long this quest will be. I have no idea. But, like the one from Shadowbringer, stuff was... It was at least like an hour plus for the first one. And then for the second part, it was again at least that. So... Ironvald sends his regards, by the way. He asked me to tell you not to push yourself. But we all know what a waste of breath that'll prove to be. Lord Heian will be arriving ere long. Aptly dressed for the cold, I should hope. Gosetsu would no doubt count himself fortunate to be absent if he knew if we were here. Gods, what I wouldn't give for a nice hot bowl of soup. But yeah, there was a nice bit of stuff with the, was it the ranged physical DPS involved with Doma? I was kinda a bit resident sleeper on it when it started, but I quite liked it by the end for reasons. It was pretty cool. Under normal circumstances, I would never dream of leading the Elder Seer's side, but considering the nature of these blasphemies and the calamity they bring, she insisted a representative for Gridania precede her arrival. It would appear their investigation into recent reports of refugees transforming is well underway. Ah, Ansem. It is good to have you with us, my friend. Indeed, the road before us is not an easy one, and a man of your talents will prove invaluable to our efforts. We but recently returned from reconnaissance, wherein we made a few rather surprising discoveries. First and foremost, we were pleased to discover that no one residing within Camp Broken Glass or Tutorium have turned, no doubt thanks to the concerted efforts of Maxima, Alfino, and Alize. However, we have reason to believe those who did turn all hail from Locus Amenius. Amenus. You mean Corvus, the Garlean's ancestral home. They're name-dropping Corvus already. The very same. When the ill effects of the final days began to manifest there, a number of Garlean refugees from the region sought sanctuary in Garlemald. But the capital was already in ruins when they arrived. They were offered asylum, but many refused and instead chose to fend for themselves on the outskirts of the city. We are of a mind to go and speak with them directly, if you would care to join us. Perhaps together we can learn what the recent circumstances has triggered such terrible change among the people. Locus Amonis suffered greatly in the wake of the final days. It is only natural they would have sought shelter in the capital. I can but imagine their horror upon arrival. I am not Garlean by blood, but having been raised in the Imperial provinces, I would be lying if I said I'm not moved by their plight. Frozen hope. Time being of the essence, I believe it's prudent we split into two groups and cover as much ground as we may, as quickly as possible. If you and Master Fortunal would inquire after the people at Victor's Spoils, the two of us shall see what we may learn at Liminal Station in the 4th. When we have finished, pray meet us there. Victor's Spoils is to the east of here, yes. Let us be off. I love the chill tune here in the daytime. That they should choose to reside here in the cold. I can but presume they will not be amenable to conversation. Even so, we must not be deterred. Come. Yep, come. I'm surprised there's even just rain here. I always thought it would be too cold, but apparently not. Talk? What is there to talk about? We've no home, no future, nothing. This tomb spills the end for us all. Come to hear our grievances, have you? We've more than you have time to hear, I'm sure. We've lost not one, but 2 homes. Our loved ones, our livelihood. There's nothing left. I served my time with the military. For what? To lose all my friends, my son. And there was naught to show for it but our claim to Locus Amonis. Or so we thought. Calamity was visited upon us for reasons we know not, and when we thought to flee, it followed our heels to Garlemald. Ruin and ash at every turn. Can't imagine why you or anyone else would feign interest in our troubles, but if you insist. You find a great many of the people here were in the military at one time or another. Some retiring with honors, and some without. Sadly, I'm one of the latter. Bore one too many scars in battle. Even so, my contributions were enough to warrant leave to move to Locus Amonis. Amonis. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Amonis? It was a land of warmth and bounty. The Corvosi rebellion, admittedly, proved troublesome, for a time, But it didn't take long for the Second Legion to quell their uprising. You could practically drown in the calm and quiet. And then one day the skies came alive with flame. We were overrun by all manner of foul beasts born of our brothers and sisters. The Second Legion barely had time to assemble their forces before they were overrun and snuffed out. We barely escaped with our lives. We were greeted only with more wreck and ruin on our arrival here, and we even have the strength to take our home back from the Corvosi a second time. There's nothing left for us anywhere. Among Us. Did you learn art of how they came to be in such dire straits? Yep. Oh, now the music's loud. I see. I heard much of the same. The military forces of Locus Amonis were defeated in the wake of the final days. Desperate to survive, they naturally fled to Garlemald seeking sanctuary. It was their hope the might of the Empire would allow them to reclaim the home they were once forced to abandon, but the capital was already in ruin when they arrived. Needless to say, the lands they have long believed to be their ancestral home of the Garlean people may remain forever lost to them. Those unfamiliar with history would believe that they have always resided in the bitter cold climes of the northern Ilsabard, but that was only after the Corvosi invaded the 800 years prior. With the advent of Magitech, I imagine it was all too easy for Emperor Solus to rally his people and take back what they believed to be rightfully theirs. Oh my god, the music. Yet history would tell us true. Hey, it stopped raining. That the land they call Locus Amonis has been known by other names, and served as home to myriad peoples. Indeed, one need only look back to the Allagan's reign in the Third Astral Era to give the lie to Garlean claims of sovereignty. Ugh. This game is very wordy, and sometimes I definitely struggle. Ugh. Yet even had they such ancestral ties to Locus Amonis, antecedents cannot justify their animosity to foreign peoples. Ugh. I'm not that well spoken. Animosity poorly veiled in by delusions of justice, as has been the case for so many nations throughout history. Would that man had the sense and strength of will to break free from such chains of hatred. Help! Someone help! They've turned! Another monster? Quickly, Anselm, we have no moment to lose. Gods, what happened? One of our mates seemed unwell, so I thought to come over and look in on him. Next thing I knew, no one appears to be injured. Did he not attack? He just walked off in the direction of the tower, in a daze as if it was calling to him. He could not have gone far. If you would go after him, I will remain here and see that they are all accounted for. Have we not suffered enough? You ready to watch some cool, amazing healer gameplay? The beast is slain then. Thank the heavens. For a blessing no others have turned, and a measure of calm has been restored, if only for the moment. Witnesses were able to offer a clue as to the source of the transformation. They claimed the afflicted was listening to this radio. Even now it continues to play the same cryptic message. Empire, no more, never again, rise, ashes. Though distorted by radio static, you can hear a voice saying, "The Empire is no more, never again shall it rise from the ashes." But how is this possible? There are no faculties left standing that could possibly deliver a broadcast. Anima was capable of sending such a message. Last time this happened, a signal came from the tower. I'm gonna name drop Anima. Be that as it may, Anima is no more. The Tower of Babel has fallen into disrepair. By your hand, no less. Which begs the question, who, or perhaps what, could be behind this? Ansem, Master Fortunal, a moment. If you would. Oh wow. We're getting all the big players. Shortly after we finished our inquiry at the Middle Station 4, Lord Emeric and Admiral Merylwib arrived and requested an audience. If there's one thing I didn't like about the Endwalker's story, it was that after you got access to the role quests, like most of the main characters, like Emeric, just fucked off to like deal with their role quest crap, and then you never really saw him in the MSQ. Like, I kinda hated that, actually. And it's only now, like, that we're actually getting some more screen time with him. Apologies for our late arrival. Knowing firsthand the devastation of which blasphemies are capable, I discussed the matter with the Admiral, and we were of one mind that the situation warranted our immediate presence. It is safe to presume a representative of the survey team has already arrived. Indeed I have. Thank you for coming all this way on such short notice. Also, there's no shot I'm going to be able to emulate all these different characters' voices accurately. I'm just not that talented. I'll try to tilt it at least a little, but yeah. Recent events here at the camp have proved most enlightening. They've got too many different sounding voices and accents and shit. It's like, I can barely keep a regular speaking voice, let alone all these different ones. And this is the aforementioned radio. Empire no more, never again rise from the ashes. A harsh reminder of their misfortune, sufficient to push some wayward few over the edge, it would seem. Yet there still remains the question of who is sending this message, and from where. Glory everlasting, Garlemald. For glory everlasting, for Garlemald. No, he couldn't be. You recognize this message? A mantra often spoken by Lord Nerva. Anyone who lived in the provinces under his authority could scarcely forget those words. He sought to claim the throne after the assassination of Emperor Varus, did he not? After civil war broke out, he all but disappeared according to the intelligence we managed to gather. How could he have managed to breach the tower undetected? To have done so and remained unnoticed by the creatures infesting the tower seems a nigh impossible task. Unless... could it be? In a manner of speaking, yes. Not as the man he once was, but a blasphemy. Robbed of the throne, and forced to watch the empire he longed to command crumble before his very eyes. If such loss did not drive him to the same fate as Quintus, the despair he felt no doubt overcame and turned him. Nerva's delusions of grandeur aside, the Garleans' plight sounds not unlike the Sahagan, desperate to preserve their spawning grounds. Indeed, though unscrupulous by any measure, the Garleans found solidarity in their ideology. As did the people of the Ishgard and the Church. Adrift without home or purpose, it is all too easy for despair to take hold. Would that a remedy were as simple as offering them land, as we did the Sahagan. In all likelihood, the Garleans would refuse to settle for aught less than what they believed to be their ancestral homeland of Locus Aminus. I swear I've said this name like a dozen times already. The claim to the Corvosi would readily take arms to denounce. We would do well not to further fan the flames of animosity twixt them. Then perhaps at the very least we could offer them peace of mind, and a means to regain some semblance of stability in their lives. Garlemald must be rebuilt. Living next to a road is fun. By no means an easy solution, perhaps the only one worthy of pursuit. Of course, this new Garlemald must remain a sovereign nation, free from the oversight of others. Yo. Is this foreshadowing to Garlemald restoration? Potentially. I'm actually surprised because, well, no, I don't know. Well, let me get through this cutscene. I'll talk about it. They would see no meaning in it otherwise. If I'm not mistaken, Alfino and Alize have already made strides in helping the people here regain some normalcy in their day-to-day living. A most important first step, but it would mean little without proper leadership. Rather than a single individual, perhaps a governing body of sorts would prove more effective. There are a number of former Senate members among the refugees at Camp Broken Glass, as I recall. With our help, creating the framework for new governance is not an impossibility. Then let us call the people together and see what they make of our proposal. But, well, okay, wait, I guess we're not done yet. How much did you actually watch of the MSQ? Like, did you catch the end of it? I can't remember. Sorry. I know you were kinda off and on for a bit. Either way, before I finished the patch, I figured that the, 6.2 would probably be involved with, doing Garlemald stuff. But after actually finishing the MSQ, I don't think that's going to be the case anymore, actually. So, they might just, leave fixing up Garlemald to this quest, the role quest stuff. And the, MSQ will focus on the other stuff. Oh, I meant the end of the 6.1 MSQ that I streamed the other day. I don't know how much of it you actually saw. But, I mean, I could just say it if you don't. I don't think you really care, but... basically, the whole point of, 6.1 was talking about, opening... Well, not opening, but there's a, the rift between the 13th and the source. That's what the whole point of us going to that, on that treasure hunt was. Well, we didn't know it was there, but that's where it led. We ended up finding an active portal to the 13th that Vrishra has kept sealed. And, one of the great brood from Midgard Somar, I forgot the name, Asdaya? I think its name was. One of the other great brood dragons ended up going not in the place I'm talking about, but previously. I'm not explaining this. Vritra told us a story about when they were fighting a long time ago. Basically, Asdaya, his sister dragon, ended up going through a rift into the 13th, like 5,000 years ago. And he has no idea. He assumed that after all this time she just has to be dead. But basically the patch kind of wrapped up with, we're basically going to find a way to, well, we're not find a way, but like we're going to make it possible that we're eventually going to go through this rift and basically just, yeah, full on go to the 13th. So it's already very heavily leaning, like that's probably going to end up being the next expansion stuff, is we're probably going to end up going to the 13th, the void. If you remember, like the 13th was the world where the Asians fucked up and it got super corrupted by darkness, and that's where like all the void scent and stuff come from. So we're basically going to be like going there, potentially even next patch even we're going to be trying to go to the 13th, I think. But yeah, like I thought that like 6.2 might deal with the Garlemald stuff, but it looks like the role quest, like this quest, might be tying that up instead. So yeah, I'm actually very curious about how much this will go into it. Yeah, it's kind of neat. I'm always looking to the next thing. Yeah, the voice stuff is cool. I was definitely excited to like do the patch stuff and just see where it's gonna go next. So just unfortunately the nature of the beast is you just gotta sit and wait now for 4 months until the next patch. Sad. I mean, could be. Who knows how they'll take it. I don't remember. How did we finish doing Dunscaith? It's been so long since I watched like the cutscene after we finished Diabolos. Did we actually kill him or just banish him back? I don't remember now. Is he even originally from the third? I'm a little muddy on the details from like Diabolos and stuff. It's been a long time. Yeah, it might be worth looking into, just like glancing over that stuff at some point maybe. Just like a good refresher. Because this game is, if nothing else, it's very good at like calling back to stuff that happened a long time ago. Like that's what the whole 24 man stuff is about. Calling back to the 12 that have been there since the game began. Anyway, let's continue this cutscene. Ugh. The final days has taken much from you all. I can but imagine the pain you feel in the face of such immeasurable loss. And though the final days have been averted, its effects yet linger, and a blasphemy has been born of your suffering. Decisive action must be taken before further harm is wrought upon you. To overcome such adversity is too great a task for any one person, but as a people united, there may yet be hope for the morrow. While it is not our place to decide how you will move forward, we would offer a small measure of guidance. We were told a number of former members of your Senate yet remain among you. Would you be amenable to an interim government led by these individuals, until such time as Garlemald can be rebuilt? Rebuild Garlemald? Is such a thing truly possible? Even if we do cobble together some governing council, they won't be making anything of that pile of ash we dare call Garlemald. There's no going back to Locus Sominus either. Rack and ruin. Those are our only options. I realize to rebuild Garlemald is a seemingly impossible task, but you needn't undertake it alone. My children are working with members of the First Legion as we speak to begin an organized relief effort. And there are others from the provinces no doubt willing to lend their expertise. You need but ask, not as would-be conquerors, but as brothers and sisters of the Star, and others will heed your call. If you should still see no merit in the rebuilding of Garlemald, then I would instead offer you residency in Charlayan. I promise you will be welcomed with open arms. Fortunal's really turned over a new leaf, huh? Charlayan. So now you'd expect us to go and lick boots in some country we've never even heard of. My apologies if I appeared overly forward in my proposition. Considering our strict policies of non-intervention until but recently, it is not surprising that you are unfamiliar with my homeland. It is an island nation to the north, home to myriad peoples, which is why I believe it would not prove difficult to accommodate you and yours. To be clear, you would not be migrating to Charlayan to live in servitude. You have my word that each and every one of you would be guaranteed citizenship upon entry. And why, exactly, would you go to such lengths for us, for the conquerors you barely know? Charlayan was long aware of the coming doom that would be the final days, and so we were preparing to evacuate the Star, taking as many people and resources as our stores would allow. Initially, it was our intent to save the people of Garlemald as well, but we had not forgotten your transgressions invading Alamigo, your rejection of our entreaties for peace. After a great deal of deliberation, it was decided that we would forego an invitation to Garlemald, a determination made with great trepidation. We convinced ourselves that it was ultimately for the greater good, though I can think of at least one individual who would continue to protest. Yeah. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom. It is indolence. Sage counsel I brazenly cast aside when confronted with the final days in earnest. But Anselm here and his companions refused to forsake those we were otherwise unwilling to save. With great risk to themselves, they achieved the impossible, and opened my eyes to the error of the Forum's decision. If all other roads led to the ruin regardless, perhaps we should at least consider it. Smile and nod. Then it would be my pleasure to invite you all to Camp Broken Glass, where you shall have warm food and beds both. I feel like I need to put on some warmer clothes here. My arms are cold. I've got my midriff showing. Admiral Merlwib and I shall speak with Maxima and the others, and consider how best to assist the Garleans moving forward. Should we broach the subject of the blasphemy, however, we will not hesitate to call upon you. Somebody spying on us? Oh? Is that nearer? Those reminded me of his boots. I hope Nero is involved in this. My poor guy was criminally underused this expansion. Though visibly relieved, the Garleans are safe. Their hardness and Fortunel's eyes suggest your work is far from over. With the Garleans' hearts at ease, the likelihood of others turning has greatly diminished. That said, it is no cause for us to grow complacent. We must needs find a way to overcome the blasphemy's protective warding. If I understand correctly, a blasphemy's behavior is oftentimes influenced by the memories and emotions of their originator, in which case it would be prudent to learn more of the man who birthed this monstrosity. How fortuitous, then, that a number of soldiers from the 3rd Legion are in our custody. For a mercy, the tempering was not so severe as to be beyond our ability to heal them. They are presently being treated at Camp Broken Glass. Perhaps the camp's intelligence officer can tell us who among them knows aught of Nerva's whereabouts. I will say I was a little bummed out how little we actually got to see of Garlemald this expansion. But it definitely feels like you can tell that they ended up probably having to cut out a bunch of Garlemald stuff to squeeze it in. Because, yeah, I feel like there could have been a lot more stuff like in and around here. But it would have just been too much with everything else. Technically, I still have a ton of side quests to do, though. They probably have some more little lore tidbits in them. They usually do. I see. Perhaps it'd be best if you speak with Virgilia, Legatus of the 3rd Legion. She's still on the mend, but the Kairugans aren't like to oppose a brief conversation. If you would wait here a moment. Oh, she was the one that we fought leading up to Garlemald, wasn't it? I remember now. Eorzea's champion, I presume, in one of his cohorts. What business have you with me? Ilsebard is faced with imminent crisis, and we believe the knowledge you bear may be key in stopping it. Thus do we believe the blasphemy to be Nerva. His whereabouts in the wake of Garlemald's fall, or lack thereof, give credence to our theory. Lord Nerva. From what we have pieced together thus far, you were one of the last to see him alive. Please, will you not share with us what you know? Very well. Though I suspect what meager knowledge I possess shall avail you not. I last spoke with Lord Nerva shortly after the warring with the 1st Legion began. Cloistered within the lower levels of the Cenaculum Imperialis, he spent the better part of the day listening attentively to the radio. He seemed hopeful, or perhaps desperate for news that the tide might turn in our favor. The next day, I left for the front line. It was there I heard a terrible noise, which I assumed came from the Tower of Babel, and darkness took me, and I remember not after that. I was told the radios protected those close to them from the effects of the tower, in which case Lord Nerva would have remained unaffected. But he has ever been devoted to Garlemald. For glory everlasting, he would say. To watch the empire he loved so dearly crumble, I can think of no one who would be more stricken by the sight. It would seem we were right to assume what became of Nerva. None. And it does not surprise me that the beast would choose to make its nest within the Tower of Babel. It stands atop the remains of the imperial palace, and the throne he revered so highly. But the empire is no more, and Lord Nerva apparently is no longer the man he once was. He deserves to be laid to rest, together with his dreams of glory. We will fell the beast. You have my word. Apologies for the interruption. Connie Senna has arrived and we're ready to depart. 'Tis good to see you, Anselm, Master Fortunato. Oh, I love this theme. I have spoken with Lorenz of the ward protecting the blasphemy, and I am quite confident that some manner of aether-based magic bars our path. If I may be so bold, Elder Seer, we reached the same conclusion initially, but that simply is not possible. These creatures born of the final days are devoid of aether. As such, they would be unable to produce such a barrier in a manner to which we are accustomed. Do you suppose it's possible they manipulated dynamists to achieve this similar effect? I too thought to dismiss the notion of a barrier fueled by ether. That is, until I stepped foot here in Garlemald. Even now I can sense streams of ether flowing towards the tower. Its purpose was, after all, to harvest reserves of energy sufficient to reach the moon. Even if one was incapable of manipulating ether directly, it stands to reason control of the tower would alleviate such a need. 'Tis merely conjecture, of course. I cannot say for certain until I have examined the currents with mine own eyes. But I ask you to accompany me. Us. I would join you as well, if I may. My injuries would keep me from being of use in battle, but my knowledge of the land should serve just as well as my blade. Oh my god. I would not be opposed to your company, but it is not my decision to make. She may go, so long as she remains under watch by you and the others. I can't remember what voices I'm using for these side characters. Very good. Might I suggest we begin with, Regio Urbanissimia? Regio Urbanissimia. I sense the greatest confluence of ether in that vicinity. That is absolutely Nera. It's red. Nera, stop sulking. so you know it. We're playing with mage. I heard word that Alden should be arriving before long. I can already picture him knocking his knees, muttering under his breath about the cold. I will never understand how anyone could grow accustomed to such cold climes. Part of me does not wish to believe this blasphemy is Lord Nerva, that I failed to protect him, and yet... I'm sure it's just my imagination, but I can't help but fear we're being watched again. It would seem I underestimated the resourcefulness of our adversary. As I thought, the ether stream here flows towards the tower, as do all others in this region, no doubt. This convergence first began when the Telafroi erected spires in all corners of Eorzea to fuel the Tower of Babel. But once destroyed, this divergence of ether should have ceased. Alright, whoever you are. Oh, he's Nero. He's talking about Nero. Of course, if you've business with us, quit your skulking about in the shadows and speak your piece. It was you there in the tower, wasn't it? My, you're sharper than you look. How weird is it that I knew it was him just because of his fucking boots? I recognize you. Nero, yes. Why are you following us? Who said I'm following you? Being a native of Garlemald, does it not stand to reason that I might be inclined to come and see what has become of my home? I know not what you're scheming, but we've no time to entertain your games. Perhaps Master Garland would make better company for you. Spare me. I am a man of great ambition and greater intellect, far beyond the scope of anything Garland could hope to achieve. He still keeps his head in the clouds, while I would set my sights on the stars beyond. Which is why you snuck into the tower, but like us, you couldn't get past the blasphemy to reach the transporter. Yes, well, I was very much hoping you would dispense with that little obstacle. And having caught wind of your plans, curiosity compelled me to see if you were truly up to the task. Do you have reason to believe we are not? Or perhaps does the great genius Nero mean to dispense with the blasphemy himself? Far be it from me to steal your glory, having come all this way. That smirk, though. But, as I am feeling generous, I will tell you what I've learned during my time in the tower. I was able to access its systems, you see, and discover one of those dreadful spires still appears to be active. Impossible. They all vanished when Anima was destroyed. Yes, and I've heard of your escapades reclaiming the remains of the Emperor, but obviously you failed to reclaim his entire body. As it stands, a piece remains powering a tower at Fabrica. Ah, yes, the manufacturing district, just north of the erstwhile Imperial Palace. A rather impressive feat, considering how these lands are so utterly devoid of ether. Barely enough to sustain life, let alone the spire. But if one were to use Varus's remains to forcibly create a confluence of sorts. Precisely. And from what I gleaned of the tower systems, his heart serves as its core. Coursing not with blood, but your precious ether, and now Nerva has amassed a store for it to shore up his defenses. A fortuitous he could find so perfect an impetus for his design, stolen from better minds than his own. How very like him. Oh, did I say that aloud? You will forgive me if I failed to show concern for your ire. If what you say is true, these lands could never hope to recover from such a paucity of life energies. We must hurry and find Varys' heart, to both spare the land this wanton harvesting, and deny the blasphemy the source of its protection. Oh, you presume you have any intention of aiding us? As I said, I have no intention of stealing your glory, though I fear victory may soon slip through your fingers if you do not act quickly. The Tower of Babel was designed specifically for anima to serve as its core. Nerva forcing himself upon the system has caused it to grow increasingly unstable. If my calculations are correct, and they always are, it will not be long before his presence triggers a system meltdown. The resulting explosion will destroy whatever tenuous streams of ether breathe life into the lands of Garlemald. But more importantly, we will lose our only means of reaching the moon. The heavens forever denied my genius. How so very unfortunate. In any event, 'twould seem time is of the essence. That's all well and good, but even if we know which district to search, finding the heart will be like looking for a needle in a bloody haystack. Actually, I may know where we can start. It's all rather hazy, but I still have vague recollections of my time serving anima when I was enthralled. We were commanded to erect some manner of facility tucked away in a corner of Fabrica. I remember not what it was for, but it's as good a place as any to begin our research. Certainly sounds promising, but surely this facility will be heavily guarded. Then maybe it'd be for the best to divide our forces. If it's just the four of us, it shouldn't prove too difficult to sneak inside and find the heart. Meanwhile, our main force can stand ready to storm the Tower of Babel when the barrier gives out. Be safe. This is Livier. What? Very well. We shall return at once. A number of Garleans have left camp for the Tower of Babel. They have somehow misunderstood the threat of the tower and convinced themselves that Nerva has taken refuge there, still clinging to their ill-placed patriotism, no doubt. They could not have gone far. If we act quickly, perhaps they can be found before they come to harm. A wise man would not waste his time on a few wayward refugees. I thought you Charlayan scholars knew better. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, sir. If it is all the same to you, Anselm, I would join you. I will return to camp and begin preparations for our assault on the tower. Hessian music. And I suppose I should go as well. Though I am unarmed, I promise not to be a burden. Why didn't you bring your new list, dude? That said, it would behoove us to avoid any undue confrontations if possible. Now then, let us be off. Oh boy, we have to run. We've no time to lose. If they should reach the tower, there's no telling what may happen to them. Wait, did I DC at some point? My Twitch chat has the welcome to the chat room in it. No trace of them here. Let us keep searching. Help! Someone, please! Did you hear that? It came from over there. They are understandably shaken, but otherwise appear to be unharmed. You're the ones who came to speak with us before. We heard Lord Nerva had returned and was assembling his forces in the tower, but... Yeah, that's not exactly true. He's kind of a blasphemy now. You probably shouldn't go. No, not Lord Nerva too. Then there really is nothing left for us. I'll not deny your situation is dire, but you are not without a path forward. I believe you've the passion and conviction needed to rebuild Garlemald, if you so choose. Or, failing that, you could begin life anew in Charlayan. Rebuild Garlemald? No, there is no point in entertaining so lofty a dream. And we would sooner die than suffer life under the rule of another. Why are you like this? You would sooner seek death than sanctuary. Your resolve is admirable, but sorely misplaced. Yeah, you're being kind of Pepega right now. If you would not see Garlemald rise from the snow and ashes here in Elzabard, might you consider venturing into a new frontier? A new frontier? And where exactly is this land ripe for exploration? There. On the moon. Wait. I never thought about that. It is our goal to create a repository of man's knowledge there, free from the jurisdiction of any nation. As I understand, the magitech and technological advancements of Garlemald were without peer. Your expertise would be indispensable in the endeavor. Should you be willing, of course. You really expect us to go and live on the bloody moon? Is such a thing even possible? Have you a better alternative? Lest you forget, Garlemald did not rise to grandeur from complacency in the present of rumination in the past. In the present or rumination of the past, we live for the future. It is in our blood. Life is not without its hardships, of course. Even I have met with the occasional stumbling block. But even should I stumble, my eyes are forever fixed skyward, seeking ever greater heights. The Empire may be lost, but I still possess a great deal of knowledge gained from it, and a desire to seek more. The very notion of exploring the moon is an unprecedented prospect, and that you would balk at the proposition boggles the mind. Consider this. You have heard that the beasts of the final days were born of these hapless souls who had given up on everything, yes? If that is indeed the case, can you tell me why you still stand before me? Because deep down you believe your life is yet worth living. Deep down, you long to reach for the unreachable. Or perhaps you don't. If you should choose to lay down and die here in the snow, that's not of my concern. Reach for the unreachable. That sounds like something I would have said back at the academy. Alright, we'll go. I suppose it's better than dying here in the snow, as you so grimly put it. Then we must first dispense with the blasphemy that commands in the tower. It's hard to believe Lord Nerva, of all people, could be turned into one of those monsters. Please, you must stop him. Put his soul to rest. Thank you, and sorry for causing all this trouble. Thank you for the rousing call to action, but I thought you had no interest in meddling in our affairs. Lest you misunderstand, I abhor the idea of my countrymen blindly following nobles where they know next to nothing about. Besides, it would be a most piteous sight for not a single Garlean to be among those venturing to the moon. Who else am I to prevail upon to learn of new findings up there? I told myself I would not get overly involved, and yet here I am. Fortunal is eager to regroup and make ready for battle. From what Nera has told us, time is now a luxury we can ill afford. Let us return to Camp Broken Glass, if only for the moment. The others are no doubt finishing their preparations for battle. I should hope the other's absence means all proceeds apace. recent arrival of reinforcements, our preparations are all but complete. Hey, got the boys. Apologies for our lateness. Seems we're at least in time to help deliver the crushing blow. Aye, and if the fates are kind, this will be the last we see of these damnable blasphemies. Commander Alden, Lord Hean, thank you both for coming. Yes. Yes, of course. Understood. Lorenz and the others have reclaimed Varys' heart. The barrier protecting the blasphemy should soon dissipate. Then the time has come to at last storm the Tower of Babel. Admiral Melweb and Lord Emeric await our arrival at his base. I wonder if this is just going to end up being like a duty, a long duty. Then we should be about it, eh? I suppose this is as good an opportunity as any to keep my hammer from resting over. I will accompany you as well. As the forum's representative and a member of the survey team, I feel it is my responsibility to see this through to the end. I didn't take key for the fighting type. Despite appearances, I am no stranger to the battlefield. Indeed, I have seen my fair share, traveling the world in service to the Forum. Though I may not be the equal of Alfiner or Alize, we shall not find ourselves wanting, I can promise you that much. Dude, he better not have any special sage dialogue that I'm gonna miss now that I'm playing Red Mage. If there's special sage dialogue, and I miss it because I'm Red Mage now, I'm gonna be peeved. Like, I know he was a sage, they talked about it in the MSQ. They gave freaking Alfiner his old new list. When you have all finished your preparations, we shall reconvene at the Enceladium. We got ourselves a duty. Yep. All are present and accounted for. Shall we proceed? Progress with this battle will be saved at certain points. Okay, I should probably go to the bathroom now. Let me take a quick 2-minute break. Okay. Should be interesting. What a crew. We've got all the big names. Our objective is simple. Locate and eliminate the blasphemy Nerva. Though the barrier guarding him is no more, a number of beasts will surely block the way at our auxiliary sector. Off to a smashing start, I see. It would seem the tower will reach its limits sooner than I anticipated. If we're to save the transporter, we must hurry and find Nerva. Now. I wonder if we'll get to play as an alien. Because it talked about having the different checkpoints. I wonder if it will do like at the end of Shadowbringers 5.5, where you played as like Graha and Alize and Rui. That'd be cool. Dude, let me play as Nero. Not this music. It should go without saying, but stay on your guard. There was quite the menagerie of horrors when last I was here. This music is like PTSD. That's why I have to take a picture of everybody. What do I got? White Mage, Sage, Samurai, Templar, Gladiator. What mirror is supposed to be? Meryl Ribbon, I shall hold them off. Press on, my friends. It's been one room and we're already splitting.
The path has been revealed. The winds favor us.
Oh, we're going. A persistent lot, aren't they?
Down with you!
I shall hold the line here. When you see it, an opening, take it. Do not look back. More coming. Stay sharp. I will see to the rebel, you focus on the large one now. Alright. Got him. They're not dead.
Enough!
Was that the last of them? Nope. Wow, AR are primal music. Of course not. We can't afford for them to impede our advance any further. Commander Alden, let us hold them here. Master Fortunal, take the others and go. Quickly. Understood. Oh. Well. Oh my god, they just reskinned the last boss of Armorat. Leave. Leave now. Garlandwald is mine. 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 I'm actually thinking. Wait, this is actually the last boss of Armorat. No! My combo. Don't you dare. Wow. Well, I chose poorly. Cogito ergo sum. Gun me quickly. I shall take the brunt of it. We must drive it back. Let's put an end to this, shall we? Okay, that was kind of easy, but it was fun. Why is he taking his armor off so fast? For glory everlasting, indeed. Is it over? Has the danger passed? By a hair's breadth, perhaps, but yes, I'd say we've managed to avoid a fiery ruin. Not this music. Our path to the moon is open once more. The duty of Charlene has ever been to chart the course of history, not to change it. Thus did we fervently hold to our policies of neutrality and non-intervention. In truth, it was all in service to our plans of exodus, to abandon the star to its ruinous fate. Harsh though it may sound, I still believe it was ultimately for the greater good. Thanks to you and your comrades, however, it was a fate that did not come to pass. Charlene will now find a new way forward, not merely for the preservation of knowledge, but for the betterment of this star and all those who call it home. I believe I speak for all of the Forum when I say it would be an honor and a privilege to work towards such a goal alongside the Allied nations. Aye, an age of true and everlasting peace is finally within our grasp, and we will seize it together. And we're out. As much as I would enjoy a riveting conversation with Eorzea's champion, I really must make ready for the moon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to hop on my motorcycle and go down the street. It is a relief to know we've no longer a need for battle. Despite my experience, I must confess I am ill-suited to it. The Allied nation leaders, meanwhile, demonstrated an aptitude for combat far and above what I might expect from diplomatic figures. And you, my friend, I see now why you are so well regarded as Eorzea's champion. The others have already begun the arduous journey home, but before you go, I would offer a word of thanks to the both of you. If not for your timely assistance, our plans would be forfeit, and the lands of Ilzabard forever defiled by the blasphemy. Please, I've no need for your platitudes. I labor only to further my own ends, nothing more. We heard the news. Thank you for everything. With Lord never laid to rest, we have the peace of mind to move on without regret. Oh my god, it's a what? There you are. Now, what's this I've heard about you cleaning out the Tower of Babel? Are we finally ready to return to the moon? Ah, what fortuitous timing. Allow me to introduce you to Livingway of the Lobberets, moon dweller and overseer of the survey team. Livingway, these good people will be the moon's first residents. I trust you and the other Lobberets will take good care of them. Pleased to meet you? Residents? Oh no. Oh yes! Splendid! After many, many long years of planning and preparation, the moon is absolutely, most definitely, ready to accommodate your stay. Glad to hear it, and apologies for the delay. I must first confer with Lawrence and see our final preparations, but your residence to be in the survey team shall be along ere long. Might I trouble you to relay word of our success to Shurabat at Razatan? I should think the tidings all the more heartening coming from you. Until next we meet. So if I go to the moon, am I gonna see them? I'm gonna go check after I turn in this quest. I better see him somewhere. But wait, you're not leaving for the moon without me. Jeez. Wow, look at that fog and those clouds. Such a view. Well, that was, I guess we're not technically done yet, but I assume we're done. That was decent. So it's true then. The blasphemy and Garlemald has been struck down. They were right to call on you, it seems. And with no other outstanding reports of blasphemy sightings, I dare say you've slain the last of them. Perhaps now we can finally start to put the final days behind us, strange though that may sound. On behalf of my fellow delegates and the Radiant Host, I extend to you our humblest thanks. I hope when next I call on you, it will be under more fortuitous circumstances. Can I get anything nice out of this? Nope. Some of our parts. Wait. Blessed relief. Well, okay, I guess that's it. guess I'll go finish this while I'm still streaming. Alright, time to shift gears. We defeated 4 of the 12 in the Alliance raid, and now we're looking to learn more about them. Yes, if you have business, please make it quick. I'm due to meet with someone any moment now. Forgive me my delay. Wife, it isn't the first adventurer who kindly escorted me to the Temple of the Fist. Are you studying monks too, perchance? I don't remember you. If so, you have to work together with me and my colleague here. Few things are finer than joining hands with like-minded folk. What can you tell me about the 12? Researching the worship of the Destroyer, you say? Why didn't you mention it sooner? Oh, maybe just Ralgar specifically, since we're here? This is a copy of Destructivity, the scripture of the Fist of Ralgar. The original is one of the few texts that survived the temple's razing, and was recovered by a monk named Widargelt. Ah yes, the monk trainer. I went to the trouble of having this made for my colleague, only for her to say she doesn't need it, so I will offer it to you instead. Lest you forget, this is your passion, not mine. I am simply assisting you as a favor, and I'd thank you not to put us in danger. Ah, but danger is the crucible in which the monk tempers body and mind. Ah, so sublime. Monks. Are they? Well, we had best return to our work. Till next time, adventurer. Nod. Guess it does specifically say make inquiries on the Fist of Ralgar. I should probably pay attention. I mean, it makes sense. So. Bloodstorm. We read the words inscribed on the monument. A storm of blood approaches fast, hell's open, heavens weep. For no one soul doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. as upon a time least explained to you their meaning, though we must prepare ourselves for the strife and sorrow that will inevitably come. Is there anything thus far? Oh, if it isn't Ansem. Is this man perchance a friend of yours? When he last visited, he shared with me the tales he heard on his journeys, and what amazing tales they were. If you have time, I'd love to hear both of your stories. Alas, we're in some haste. We're investigating the worship of Valgar, and seek literature of the subject, religious texts and the like. Can any still be found here? Just about all of it's gone, sadly, destroyed by the Empire if not the Mad King before that. But we haven't lost everything. The mighty image of the Destroyer, tales we share at the campfire, like the legend of our nation's founding. We still have these things, and they were a source of great comfort and strength to us in our darkest moments. I see. If you don't mind, I would be obliged to hear your stories this time. Ansem, rest assured that I have this well in hand. Feel free to carry on as you were. Gee, I wonder if there's a cutscene here. Ansem, what were you able to learn? I got a book. A copy of one of the scriptures, you say? A moment while I skim over it. I see. This chapter appears to be a record of the construction of the great image of Ralgar, written in a style that suggests folklore was committed to parchment. When the deluge of the sixth umbral calamity threatened Eorzea, the ancestors of the Alamegans were guided to safety by a comet. Believing that it was sent by Ralgar, they came to hold him in the highest. This much of the tale I had been familiar with. But according to the scripture, among those refugees who followed the comet, some claim to have caught sight of Ralgar himself. Their accounts were passed down through the centuries, and worshippers of the Destroyer pieced them together to give shape to yonder statue. I must say, it bears more than a passing resemblance to the being we encountered. Were that Ralgar a primal, the explanation for the similarities would be simple. That is, the statue gives rise to a unified interpretation of Ralgar's appearance, which in turn leads form to the primal. However, this fails to account for what inspired the likeness in the first place. If the scripture is to be believed, it was the sightings during the sixth umbral calamity. Yet for those witnesses to be able to recognize Ralgar, they would have needed to an agreed upon idea of his appearance beforehand. If we then consider the history of the 12 worship, that it already existed in the third astral era, it would not be ridiculous to think that these divinities existed even prior to that. So the question is, do these beings give rise to their respective faiths, or are they primals born of them? I thought we had made it clear. We are not summoned beings. Hawk with Ralga's voice. Since time immemorial, our domains have lain scattered across Eorzea. As a matter of fact, one of those in which you set foot is nearby. It is not unusual for mortals to glimpse us. That voice. Could they be? Indeed, I am Brygot, and the hawk beside me is Ralgar. I shall elaborate upon my master's explanation. We thus disguise ourselves when we wish to observe the world without, for being seen in our true forms would violate our laws of conduct. Yet though we similarly disguise our sanctums, feeling them an illusion, rents are known to manifest when summering and surrounding aether is unstable. In such a time, should a gifted mortal chance to be near, they may inevitably, inadvertently, catch sight of us. Of course, during an umbral calamity, etheric imbalance occurs on a star-wide scale, the ideal condition for seeing the phantom realm. Precisely how many times we have been seen, we ourselves have no way of knowing, but that is a sound assumption to make. Well, Brygot, I believe that much shall suffice by way of an apology for our deception. Shall we? Indeed, that is all we are at liberty to reveal. Fare you well, children of man. Okay. I did not expect them to turn up and just talk to me again. So soon. Aside from their reticence when it concerns their identity and objective, these divinities are certainly approachable. If what they said was true, and their worship can be traced back to their sightings, it would serve to explain one thing. According to my research in the field of comparative mythology, Ralgar is often observed to bear many similarities with Ramu. Yeah, I kinda got that vibe. Assuming both were inspired by the Ralgar of the Phantom Realm. Their divergence may be attributable to the differences in culture between man and sylph. So you believe that they gave rise to the prevailing faiths of Eorzea? Given available evidence, yes, I am inclined to. Yet none of this explains their presence. How and when did beings of such power come into existence? Hello? Cryle? Oh, 'tis you, Cryle. Has something happened? Truly? Very well, I shall take care of it. Cryle has recruited an acquaintance to aid in our investigation, an authority on mythology. I must go and receive her at the sunken temple of Karn, where she is currently conducting field work, after a brief detour to prepare a little something. Conveniently, Thanerlane is home to countless adherents of Naaldal. While I tend to business, may I ask the two of you to make inquiries in Ul'dah? Very well. Excellent. I will join you as soon as I am able. By your leave. See ya. So it's just to be you and me in Ul'dah. I suppose it can't be helped. I wonder if you get any specific dialogue relating to the one that you're chosen to for a guardian. I kinda hope so, but That is potentially a lot of specific dialogue. Still, I feel like if there was a time to do it, it would be now. Apprehension is writ plain on Derek's face. What strange manners for the one who proposed the survey to so promptly abandon it. I'll not lie. I'm not given to working one-on-one with another, but I suppose I'll agree to this arrangement. I agreed to this arrangement. Well, we had best be on our way. As I recall, Milvinus Sacrarium is still closed for construction, so let us try our luck at the Ozurinth Ossuary. You have no objection to traveling separately, I trust? Good. I shall see you in Ulda. Where exactly? Oh. Thaumaturge's Guild. Ah, you're here. One of the deific twins, Naal Dal. Here they worship Dal, who keeps the realm of the dead and weighs the worth of men's souls. In contrast, Naal keeps the world of the living and oversees their financial fortunes. The names are borne by many a location and religious organizations. Some extremely wealthy and powerful exist to nurture faith in them. On the surface, it may seem strange that a hub of commerce such as Ulda could be home to such spiritual people, but it is actually quite logical when one considers that their religion is, in essence, commerce. In any event, Naal Dal is a truly unusual divinity. What was originally held to be one god came to be worshipped as twins. Indeed, rather than two distinct entities, that which we encountered was a single being possessed of two personalities. Did I mishear? Did he just say they encountered Naal Dal? And while his appearance differs somewhat to the divines worshipped, it cannot be denied that there are striking similarities in their nature. We're starting to attract attention. The side-eye. I missed the picture. That would have been fun. Forgive me. This is hardly the place for such a conversation. Let us continue it elsewhere. Run away! Yes, let's go talk by the eggs. "'Twas careless of me to openly speak of our encounter with a divinity within a place where he is worshipped. Hereon I shall exercise greater caution. I thank you for alerting me to my indiscretion, and ask that you keep it between us." Now then, to finish our conversation. As I mentioned, though the Naal Dal as worshipped by men appear somewhat different, they are undeniable similarities in their nature. I believe when we report this much to Graha Tia. With that, our work here is done. Rather than waiting for our companion to arrive, perhaps you might seek him out at the sunken temple. You mentioned needing to make a detour. Were we to set out now, we ought to be able to catch up to him. After all, we hardly know one another. Rather than loiter with an unfamiliar person, 'tis better to use our time productively. Wouldn't you agree? Then let us head to the sunken temple of Karn at once. I haven't been out here in a bit. Sadly, it's not time. So no to the sun, Sag. You're here, thank goodness. I found this woman collapsed, though I can see no obvious injuries. By her attire, she appears to be some manner of scholar. Water, food, and my bag. Please. I see. Anselm, may I trouble you to find her bag? I will stand lookout in the meantime. Large bag. Examining the bag, you find a skin with little water left, but there appears to be no provender. For now, you decide to take the water to the woman. So thirsty. So hungry. Even an incurable optimist would feel compelled to say this water skin is nearly empty. I mean, I have orange juice. She could have. Not enough food. I need food. I have not saved dried meat, tough as leather. Do you have anything easier to consume? Anselm, Derek, what are you doing here? Actually, that can wait. Steady, snow game. I brought you Archon loaf and coffee, made sweet and creamy, just as you like it. Please don't make that sound. Game. Ah, I am reborn. Washed down with a sweet beverage, the life-giving nutrients of Archon loaf permeate my being from head to toe. Thank you, kind stranger. However you knew my preferred source of sustenance, you are truly a godsend. Oh, it's you, Raha. What brings you here? I don't recall mentioning my fieldwork. It's for my research into the Beladians' worship of Zima, you see. Haven't you heard from Cryle? The students are presently investigating the 12, and we would prevail upon your expertise. May I introduce Snowgame? expert mythologist. She is a collaborator of the students, and like many a Charlean scholar, is passionate about her endeavors to the point of forgetting to eat. Seeing as she is recovered, may I ask the two of you to tell her about the Phantom Realm? So there's this place out by Mordona, and there's a pantheon of the 12. We fought for them. The 12 abide in a Phantom Realm, and you exchange not only words with them, but blows besides. Incredible. And your description of the domains, a thunderous tower in one and a sweltering city in another, are precisely as the heavens of lightning and fire are depicted in legend. In ancient times, worshippers of the 12 believed that there exist 7 heavens and 7 hells. Ethereology has since established that departed souls return to the ethereal sea, but it seems those afterlife domains are more than just inventions of mortal imagination. As a pursuer of myths, I must say it feels somewhat anticlimactic to suddenly have these revelations given to me. I mean, you can go check it out if you want. But more than that, I'm dying to know more. Which is to say, please allow me to join your investigation. I mean, sure, I guess. We would, of course, welcome your presence. Without further ado, then, let us head to the Omphalos. Kryl awaits us there. Okay. Well, I guess we're heading back. How do I actually... I guess I have to go to Mordona and just find the walk on the water thing. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome, Snowgame. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Snowgame. I don't know if it's Game or Gaim. Snowgame. 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 I'm glad you could join us. Kryl, how delightful to see you again. I understand you've been doing a fine job leading the students. But may I say what a lovely place this is. At a glance this appears to be the highest of heavens of legend, the 7th heaven. And if those aren't symbols representing the other heavens, I take it those are their respective gateways. I should like to pay them all a visit. For Snowgame's benefit, let us review what we have learned thus far, and then deliberate the next step. The gods reappeared before us in Malgo's Reach, though they were disguised as unassuming creatures. The laws forbid them from showing their true forms outside the realm. Yet in the event the ambient ether becomes unstable, such as during an umbral calamity, it is possible for the realm, and indeed the gods themselves, to be glimpsed by mortals. And such sightings, we believe, have given rise to the various faiths practiced throughout Eorzea. As we confirmed in Ul'dah, the Naal Dal worshipped by people in the Naal Dal we encountered here have more similarities than they do differences. In the course of exploring the Omphalos, two things caught my attention. The first is the gate which lies in the innermost area. In each of the other 6 gates, if each of the other 6 gates leads to an elementally aspected heaven, and we stand in the 7th heaven as Snogium says, what, then, lies beyond that last gate? Tune in 8... well, not even 8 months, probably like... a year from now. We'll find out in a year from now. The second is this monument. It harbors some manner of magic, unlike anything I've seen before. I will endeavor to decipher it, but it will take time. We're talking like 4 patches from now. 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. That's 16 months at least. Dude, it's gonna be like the end of next summer, before we finish this raid series. Man. Divinities that have existed since time immemorial, who abide in domains resembling the heavens of legend. Why have they chosen to reveal themselves to mortals seeking battle? Unless they favor us with more of their secrets, it would seem this monument holds the key to solving the mystery. Indeed. Much and more yet lies beyond our understanding, but we'll keep chasing the truth together. As I'm sure you'll agree, this is tiring work, both mentally and physically. We need to pace ourselves. No, I need to know all of it right now. To which end, might I suggest we return to Revenant's Toll, and have a rest before we embark on the next stage of our investigation. No. Okay, I wasn't expecting to actually sit and watch them eat. So rarely do I get to simply chat with colleagues. I had fairly forgotten what it felt like. Indeed, it is quite fitting that we should be doing so here at the 7th heaven. Fitting? That's an understatement if I ever heard one. The 7th and highest of the heavens, which rules over the remaining 6, was right here in Moderna all this time. This isn't fitting, my friends, it's destiny. You are obviously well versed in the myths surrounding the heavens and hells. If you don't mind, I should like to hear your thoughts on them. Infested as they are in their research, it doesn't take much to stoke their passions. My apologies if it makes you uncomfortable. Having always traveled alone, I'm admittedly not too familiar with such a lively atmosphere, but I do not mislike it. By the way, two of you arrived at the sunken temple rather quickly. Did something happen? Well, as pleasant as this has been, it's past time we return to the annex. The paperwork for this commission isn't going to complete itself, alas. Then I shall take myself to the Amphilos. There's so much there that I'd like to see. And I believe I will go for a walk nearby. It's getting a little warm in here. Alright, do take care now. Surprised there are that many people in here. Oh, Anselm. It's pleasant, isn't it? The smells and sounds of a tavern makes one feel alive. And afterwards, stepping outside alone and breathing the cool air, I like that just as much. While we await developments, I shall remain here in Revenant's Toll. If there are any tidings, rest assured I will share them with you. Thank you for your help thus far. I doubt so much could have been accomplished without you. I guess that's it. Okay. As I mentioned, I shall remain here in Revenant's Toll while we await developments. If there are any tidings, rest assured I will let you know. Okay. I mean, I knew that was about to end, but that just ended kind of abruptly. Well, I guess I will go. Let's go to Charlane and see if they say anything. And then I'm gonna go to the moon and see if Nero's there somewhere. And I will go dig up a mappa and sell it while I'm thinking about it. They're not here. Also, I forgot to see if Alfie and Alize were down in that area. Let's do that too. I knew they were here before anyway. It's a relief to see you back in one piece. With the blasphemy gone, the people who can finally begin piecing their lives together. Not an easy feat by any measure, but they are resilient people. Even so, they're going to need help, which is why I plan to stay a while longer. Did Father really storm into the Tower of Babel alongside you? I told him not to overexert himself, but he never listens. If he were anyone else, I'd give him a thick ear for being so reckless. The next time you see him, prepared to do anything rash, do be sure to call on me. I'll feel better knowing that both of us are there to keep an eye on him. Dang, I probably missed some dialogue then before. Sag. I forgot to come. Well, I didn't expect to see the twins in Garlemald again. Like you, they risk life and limb to save the world. And some would say they've earned a lifetime of peace and quiet. And here they are. When they said they wished to help us, they truly meant it. And even if outsiders haven't given up on us, then how could we possibly give up on ourselves? The road to recovery will be long and hard, but we'll spare no effort. We'll rebuild Garlemald into a nation that all can be proud of, for those who are still here as well as those who couldn't be. Alright, let's check the moon. Best way is burrow. It's kind of a big place though. Well, we'll see. Another place I have not done side quests yet. Suppose if he's anywhere, he might be up top, chillin'. Because I think that's where Living Way defaults. Yeah, alright. Let's check up top. Wobbling way, flopping way. Maybe they're not. They go check over, just to be safe. Of the 69 parties currently recruiting, I'll match your search conditions. Nice. Well, shit. I guess I can check the sides, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother checking the other side. I doubt they're there. Oh, somebody attuning. Must mean they just got here. The Loperites have told me of your victory over Meteon. It is a relief to know Hydaelyn's wish for Aetheris and her people was granted. She is not here to revel in your victory, but so long as there is life on Aetheris, her spirit shall live on. In the soothing summer rains and the gentle spring breezes, she will be with you, always. Yeah, that's just what they say after you finish the game, anyway. Well, MSQ. Well, okay. I'm guessing I don't actually get to go talk to Nero anyway. Satch. Well, I think I'll go ahead and call it there. I might do a roulette or two before calling it completely, but I don't really need to stream that, so yeah, I think that'll be it for today. So